Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, is the newest film from the MCU, but is this the film that gets them back on track? Scott, Hope, Hank, and Janet explore the quantum realm, where they interact with strange creatures and embark on an adventure that goes beyond the limits of what they thought was possible. As I said before, is this the film that gets the MCU back on track? Because, let's face it, since Endgame, there really hasn't been anything too special that's come out. The only great film, in my opinion, was Spider-Man, and I really love Shang-Chi. But every other film in the MCU seems like they've lost some sort of quality to it that we haven't seen since the Infinity Saga. It seems like a lot of things are just being rushed out, whether it's the TV shows or the films. It seems like there has been a long streak of inconsistency and some of a cold streak since the end of the Infinity Saga, with some exceptions here and there. And I'm not going to beat around the bush. I really had a bad time with Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. And I'm so disappointed because this was the film that's going to kickstart Phase 5. This was the film that was going to get everything back on track. We're going to introduce the new Thanos of the MCU, Kang the Conqueror. And there was just a lot riding on this film. And I think it pretty much failed in almost every single aspect of doing that. I'll first talk about what I liked in the film, and that is Kang the Conqueror. I think there are a lot of things to really love about this character, just his presence, and that has to do with Jonathan Majors. I think he is fantastic as Kang, and there are things I'm excited to see with Kang moving forward, but there are some things that happen in the film that I won't get into spoilers that really frustrated me with Kang also. But everything else, in my opinion, kind of fell flat. And this is coming from someone who really loves the first Ant-Man movie. I think the second one's just okay. This one is way below the standards of both of them. And I think a big reason why is this film has a problem trying to decide if it wants to be a big setup movie for Phase 5. We're going to set up this big villain, the big new baddie that the Avengers got to fight. Or we're going to make it another fun Ant-Man adventure in its own story. And somehow it falls flat on both counts. Because there's a lot they set up with Kang. There's a lot of things they set up moving forward, but by the third act, a lot of it is diminished a little bit. And I really hated that third act, by the way. I think it's just a big clusterfuck of dumb shit. I mean, the more I think about it, this movie's filled with so much nonsense. I get that we're in the quantum realm. We want to show off all these wacky characters and creatures, but sometimes it just got distracting. It wasn't really fun when it was supposed to be a super fun movie. It just became annoying. And there's also another villain in here. It isn't a spoiler because it's in the trailer, but I didn't really know he was in this film. I kind of had an idea. It's MODOK, and I guess there's some cool things they do with him. Like there's some... Actually, I take it back. I thought he was fucking stupid too. There's so much of this film that just doesn't work. It's actually mind-blowing. I've come to realize that maybe the quality of content that the MCU is putting out is just not going to be as good anymore. It's not going to be that same sort of excitement and storytelling that we got in the Infinity Saga. And I kind of have to take those Marvel blinders off sometimes because I think there's some recent projects that I don't think they're bad, but they're definitely ones that at the time I thought were a lot of fun, and then rewatched them like, this isn't as good as I thought. But with Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, I just know I'm looking at a big pile of shit. And honestly, this is the first MCU movie that I can think of where I had some problems with the performances. I normally never say that about an MCU movie. Most of the performances are really good. There are just some that bothered me a little bit. And that has to do with the script because this movie is very corny, and with the director, but I don't know. It's weird to see the MCU kind of fall apart like this, and I'm not saying that it's doomed. It's not done for. We're still going to get more things coming out. Like, I'm actually excited for Guardians of the Galaxy 3, and it's not even because it's like an MCU movie. It's more because of James Gunn, and I'm excited to see what they do with Kang moving forward, but it's just weird to see the quality just drop off. Maybe it's because they're just bumping out too much shit. Maybe they're a little fatigued and they know they just killed it with the Infinity Saga and they really got to try something different, but it's not really working, but they kind of have to stay on course. I don't know. It's just weird to see, but with this, I can't deny, like, nothing really worked with it. Thought the special effects honestly didn't look very good. Jonathan Majors is great. Paul Rudd's great. Like, that's all fine. And I really think Kang as a presence is cool, and there's some cool things they do with it. But then there are things they do that kind of ruin it. And I won't say because of spoilers, but this was just a strange movie in all the wrong ways. First third of the film is just chunky and kind of stupid. And then the second act is most of the Kang stuff. And I thought that was pretty well done. Just really the Kang stuff, none of the other dumb nonsense that's going on. And then the third act is just a bunch of fucking bullshit. I already said that, but I really can't get over how stupid it is. And by then, the movie, I think this is where it fails the most, is that this is supposed to be a setup for Phase 5. And I'm just looking at it now, and I'm not that excited for Phase 5 because there's certain things they do where I'm like, why would you do that to Kang? This is not as exciting anymore. And I guess I don't know where they're going, and it's hard to judge it because we don't know. Maybe this ends up being the best chapter of Phase 5 because it sets up everything perfectly. But this whole film just felt like a mess, and it just seems like a trend that's going on with these MCU movies that hopefully at some point we can get back on track because I do think there are some things that are set up well, but overall, I have to say, it's not looking great. I'm going to give Ant-Man the Wasp Quantumania 4.5 Davey Daves. I think Kevin Feige and the crew need to cook something up soon because they're going to start losing some people's attention. But actually, I take that back completely. Take it back. This movie's going to make like $1 billion, and it's fine. But I do think sometimes Kevin Feige and the crew do care about the quality of the film. So hopefully they figure something out. So, Ant-Man the Wasp, Quantumania. Let me know what you guys thought of it once you've seen it. I'm curious to hear. And thank you so much for watching. Click here to see more of Dave's Takes.